Howdy, 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 and welcome to it, everybody. The Chris Salcedo Show on Newsmax TV. You know, honesty is hard to come by these days. People who are straight shooters are often vilified and cast as brutes who have no place in civilized society. Not only does the so-called press lie about their own agenda, but large swaths of our media are sycophants in service to and work to protect those who speak with forked tongues. In other words, most of the press works to protect the loathsome, while they lie and falsely attack the righteous. The majority of the press, they're liars. That's our focus in tonight's preamble. As a reminder, the Chris Salcedo Show is honest about who we are. This is an information and conservative opinion show. We don't do a news program. Sadly, neither does CNN, MSNBS, NBC, ABC, CBS, or 60 Minutes. These are liberal opinion shows masquerading as news programs. Case in point, the 60 Minutes hit piece on the rising conservative star Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. As you may have heard, 60 Minutes deceptively edited video of Governor DeSantis trying to create the impression that the governor had undertaken a pay-to-play scheme. This is a narrative that has no basis in fact. Instead, it was fabricated by 60 Minutes because Governor DeSantis awarded a vaccine distribution contract to the Publix store chain. And it so happens Publix had donated money to a PAC for DeSantis. 60 Minutes ignored relevant facts in this story that showed that Publix was the best and really only choice because of their ability to complete the mission, which was to vaccinate Floridians. Of course, DeSantis' track record in fighting the China virus is exemplary, and that's something else 60 Minutes ignored. Headlines from more reputable news organizations condemned the 60 Minutes report. One read, CBS stands by widely criticized 60 Minutes report on Ron DeSantis. Another headline reads, 60 Minutes, dishonest DeSantis hit job. And yet another screams, disgraced 60 Minutes goes dark with debunked Ron DeSantis hoax. Yeah, if I had put out a steaming pile of manure like 60 Minutes did, I'd be hiding too. Now, why did CBS do such crappy work? Bo Snerdley, longtime producer of the Rush Limbaugh Show, gave us his take.
The fact that they did it and got caught being deceptive speaks volumes about what CBS News has become. And before I say CBS News, what 60 Minutes has become. I don't know whether this is a problem internally for 60 Minutes or whether it's widespread throughout the network. I would hope that this is an isolated case with 60 Minutes. But it's disgraceful. And the fact that not only Publix has refuted it, but you have, as you said, in your setup to this piece, Democrats in the state are out. They're just as outraged as everyone else is over this yellow journalism.
As usual, Bo knows he's right. The 60 Minutes/CBS piece of garbage has been widely condemned even by Democrats.
I certainly was taken aback. I had worked diligently to speak with the producers of 60 Minutes because I had heard of the story coming to fruition. And certainly as the decision maker and someone that worked directly with Governor DeSantis, I wanted to be clear that it was a decision that I made with the county administrator. Publix has turned out to be a godsend for this county. 20,000 vaccines were guaranteed a week at a time where it was very difficult. Governor DeSantis came through for us.
Not only did that Democrat mayor say none of his articulated support of DeSantis made it into the 60 Minutes story, he also let the leftists at 60 Minutes have it by telling Newsmax TV's John Bachman what 60 Minutes wouldn't allow their audience to hear.
I give the governor an A in terms of working with me, working with the county leadership, and being an operational partner. He's been outstanding. I know that's unpopular for me to say as a Democrat, but I am here to speak the truth. I've enjoyed working with him. I don't know if Governor DeSantis would recognize me if he saw me on the street, but he's done a heck of a job for the residents of Palm Beach County.
And that is why 60 Minutes did their fake news story, because they wanted to make sure a conservative with a good track record of good governance had his reputation destroyed before he could challenge a Democrat socialist for elected office in the future. In other words, 60 Minutes was willing to lie to their audience about Governor DeSantis so they could kneecap a Republican. Meanwhile, up in New York, Governor COVID Cuomo has 9 or 10 sexual misconduct accusers. I've lost count at this point. He's under investigation for needlessly killing 15,000 elderly people by throwing China virus positive patients into nursing homes. He's also being investigated for covering up those numbers. And Cuomo is being accused of giving preferential treatment to his family members, getting them VIP access to China virus testing ahead of New York citizens. And 60 Minutes is silent. Do you know why 60 Minutes is silent on real news and is busy creating fake news? It's because CBS News and 60 Minutes, they don't do news anymore. They are the marketing arm for the Democrat National Committee. All they do is spin narratives to protect slimy, abusive dirtbags and then try to destroy conservative pro-Americans. 60 Minutes and their overseers at CBS covet narratives over factual reporting. This makes them inferior to even the worst tabloids. DeSantis has a few words to say to 60 Minutes and their lying narratives.
Their narrative was a piece of horse manure. And it shows you how dishonest. These are smear merchants. That's why nobody trusts corporate media. They are a disaster in what they're doing. They knew what they were doing was a lie. I knew what they were doing was a lie. Everybody here knows what they were doing is a lie. They know that we know they're lying, and yet they continue to lie. And they lied, and they lied, and they lied. We offered them the information, and they declined to interview the key people because they didn't want to let go of the narrative. Well, guess what? There's going to be consequences for that. I know corporate media thinks that they can just run over people. You ain't running over this governor. I'm punching back.
Congratulations, Governor. And you can help make sure that the unrepentant CBS News and 60 Minutes pays a price. Tune them out. It's worth noting that none of CBS News' alleged competitors called out 60 Minutes in their shoddy journalism. We heard nothing from ABC News or NBC News. There's a reason for that, too. Leftists don't attack one another. They don't compete against each other. They collude with each other. And in so doing, they sully the name of journalism. They push left-wing propaganda and call it news. What's even worse is CBS News would protect self-serving, incompetent boobs like Governor COVID Cuomo, Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, and Pretty Boy Newsome out there in California, so that they could win elections and continue to harm their citizens. In turn, 60 Minutes would unfairly malign governors like DeSantis so that his success in Florida would be denied to other people in the United States, perhaps. Now, what does that tell us about the kind of people who populate the nation's so-called newsrooms? I think it shows them to be dedicated socialist Democrats, not dedicated journalists. And that makes 60 Minutes, CBS News, and their collaborators incredibly dangerous to American freedom, liberty, and prosperity. I just thought you should know.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.